Trent Lehman was born on February 23, 1961, in the cultural heart of Los Angeles County, California. The America of the early 1960s was poised on the edge of monumental social and political change. Yet, in the sun-soaked suburbs of Southern California, the post-war dream of prosperity and family life still reigned. Hollywood, far from being a distant fantasy, was a tangible local presence, its sound stages and studio lots embedded into the very geography of the city. For a child growing up there with natural charisma and a photogenic spark, the pull of the industry was irresistible. From an early age, Trent displayed something seasoned casting directors could spot instantly: a genuine screen presence. He was not simply a cute kid for the camera. Instead, he possessed an ability to connect emotionally through the lens, a rare quality that set him apart. Recognizing this gift, his family entered him into the cutthroat world of child acting. This environment demanded an unusual blend of traits: unblemished innocence beloved by cameras, paired with the discipline and resilience of an adult professional. It was a gauntlet of endless auditions, fleeting chances to impress, and the constant risk of rejection. Parents often doubled as managers, chauffeurs, and emotional anchors, while hopping for that elusive, life-changing role. Trent proved capable of meeting the challenge. He began securing small roles in television productions across Los Angeles, each one teaching him invaluable lessons: hitting marks, following direction, mastering etiquette on set. One of his earliest notable appearances was in The Mod Squad, ABC's hip police drama known for tackling socially relevant themes. Though far removed from the wholesome roles that would later define him, this appearance showcased his versatility and marked him as a reliable young performer. In 1968, Walt Disney Productions sought a new voice for Christopher Robin in Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day. The previous child actor had aged out, and Disney wanted a voice that conveyed youth, kindness, and wisdom. At just 7 years old, Trent was chosen. His natural, unaffected speaking style perfectly embodied Christopher Robin, lacking the polished stiffness of many child actors. The short film became a global success, even winning the 1969 Academy Award for Best Animated Short. Millions of viewers worldwide came to know Trent's voice, though not yet his face, through one of children's literature's most beloved characters. His anonymous immortality was secured before he even achieved fame. By 1970, Trent landed the role that made him a star. Butch Everett, the middle child on ABC's sitcom The Nanny and the Professor. Created by A.J. Carruthers, the series offered wholesome escapism amid America's turbulent political climate. Professor Harold Everett, played by Richard Long, was a widowed academic raising 3 children through logic and science, only to have his world upended by the arrival of Phoebe Figolilli, a magical, intuitive British nanny portrayed with grace by Juliet Mills. The show revolved around the gentle tension between logic and intuition, science and magic. At the heart of this family dynamic were the 3 Everett children: Hal, the responsible older brother; Prudence, the youngest, played by future child star Kim Richards; and Butch, portrayed by Trent Lehman. As Butch, Trent embodied the quintessential American boy, energetic, curious, freckle-faced, and endlessly inventive. Episodes often placed him at the center of the plot, conducting experiments to test Nanny's abilities or clashing with his father over a pet. Trent's comedic timing and emotional authenticity brought the role to life. He was not merely reciting lines, he was Butch. His chemistry with Richard Long created a touching father-son bond, while his faith in Nanny underscored the show's magical undertone. For 2 seasons and 54 episodes, this became Trent's world, Days were filled with scripts, call sheets, and tutoring sessions on set. He received fan mail from children across America, saw his face in TV Guide, and was treated like a rising star. By the standards of the early 1970s, Trent had made it. Yet in Hollywood, dreams are fragile, and the higher the climb, the more devastating the fall. The early 1970s brought sweeping changes to television. Wholesome sitcoms began giving way to grittier, socially conscious programming led by Norman Lear's All in the Family. In 1971, ABC made a disastrous scheduling move, shifting The Nanny and The Professor to compete directly against All in the Family. It was an unwinnable fight. Ratings collapsed, and the series was swiftly canceled. For the adult cast, it was a professional setback. For 10-year-old Trent, it was the sudden collapse of his entire identity. Overnight, the applause, recognition, and sense of purpose vanished. Trent attempted to continue acting, securing guest roles on shows like Gunsmoke. But these were fleeting one-offs, not the steady work of a series regular. In 1974, Disney briefly brought him back to voice Christopher Robin in Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2. Yet by then he was 13, grappling with adolescence. His voice was deepening, his appearance changing, and the cute child appeal that once made him invaluable was fading. In Hollywood's ruthless logic, his value was diminishing. By his mid-teens, acting opportunities had dried up almost entirely. Returning to public school in the San Fernando Valley only deepened his alienation. Among peers, he was neither fully a star nor fully anonymous. Recognized as that kid from that show, he endured whispers, stares, and insensitive questions. He struggled with identity. Was he Butch Everett or Trent Lehman? Motorcycles became his escape, offering freedom and danger, but they could not heal the wounds of rejection and lost purpose. Depression began to take root. In the 1970s, mental health was poorly understood, often dismissed as weakness rather than illness. Without support or treatment, Trent faced his battles largely alone. As he entered adulthood, his struggles worsened. The structured routines of regular jobs felt alien after years in television. He was caught between two worlds, too famous to be normal, not famous enough to remain a star. The sense of failure gnawed at him. By the end of 1981, at just 20 years old, Trent was unemployed, financially unstable, and engulfed in untreated depression. The bright promise of his childhood had darkened into despair. That December, in a moment of desperation, he vandalized a bus stop, shattering its glass. Arrested and fined $240, the penalty seemed minor on paper but catastrophic for Trent. Unable to pay, humiliated, and already spiraling, he viewed the fine as a tangible symbol of his failure. Once a boy earning a comfortable salary on national television, he now couldn't scrape together a few $100s. The shame compounded his depression until the weight became unbearable. On January 18, 1982, just weeks before his 21st birthday, Trent left home and walked the quiet streets of Pomona. He chose a destination loaded with symbolism, Vejar Elementary School, where he had once been an ordinary child before fame. Returning to that place of innocence, he enacted his tragic final act. In the schoolyard beneath the cold night sky, Trent hanged himself on a chain-link fence. His body was found the following morning. He was only 20. News of his death rippled briefly through entertainment press, noted as another sad entry in Hollywood's long list of lost children. There was no great public mourning. Audiences had already moved on. Yet Trent's story remains deeply poignant. He was not destroyed by drugs, scandal, or financial exploitation, but by something quieter and equally lethal: the psychological devastation of being built up and abandoned by the machinery of fame. His voice still lives on in Disney's Winnie the Pooh films, a permanent echo of childhood innocence preserved forever. But behind that immortal voice was a boy who could not find his place once the cameras stopped rolling. His story serves as a cautionary reminder of the responsibilities owed to child actors, fragile lives placed under the crushing weight of public expectation. Trent Lehman's final days reveal not only the fragility of fame, but also the devastating cost of neglecting mental health in a world that celebrates young talent one moment and discards it the next. He remains, even decades later, a symbol of both the dream and the nightmare that Hollywood can create.